Lisa Louise Cook with the Family History Expo TV, and we're here in Redding, California at the Family History Expo, and I'm here with Melinda Kashuba, PhD, and she is here teaching classes and has a book that she's written. Welcome to the show, Melinda.
Hi, thank you, Lisa. Thank you for having me on.
Well, nice to meet you. Got a chance here to meet in kind of my old stomping ground in California.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was nice. We didn't have to fly in. I got to drive in. And how about you? Are you from California or outside?
I am. I was born in Richmond, California, and I grew up in the Bay Area. And then I moved to Southern California for my education, and then moved back here about 10 years ago and was really happy to come home to Northern California again.
Well, it's beautiful here and beautiful weather. We've had a great turnout of genealogists and new genealogists interested in their family history. And I know you're here teaching classes. What are you teaching?
Well, this morning I taught a class on Northern California sources and records.
Oh, perfect. Wonderful.
And we had people from all over the northern region, all the way down to the Bay Area, actually, here.
Great, and that's, it's like every state has its own little animal of different records and nuances. Isn't that true?
It is true, and what makes it really interesting is that a lot of people think that you can only do genealogy in Salt Lake City. And really, you can do genealogical work anywhere, not just on the internet, but there are many sources here locally, and that's what I was trying to do today, is to let people know that Salt Lake City's great, but you can do a lot of work here in Northern California, and not just because you might have Northern California lines.
Right. I've noticed that in interviewing people from different libraries across the country. Is one of the things they always stress to me is that we have this wonderful local collection, but we also have, we're in the South and we've got New England. It's amazing how different resources come to different locations. So that would be the same even with the local resources or going to the nearby NARA?
Indeed. Well, what it really boils down to is that geography. I use that word, geography. And what a lot of people don't understand is that their family may have lived elsewhere, but some of their descendants have moved to Northern California, and maybe some of those family records have been placed in a repository and archive, but they may cover another geographic location, sometimes a ways away, because California is very much a migrant state. When I was growing up in the Bay Area, I remember every year the teacher would ask, and maybe the teacher would ask you too, how many people are native Californians?
Yes.
And we were, in the early 1960s, very much a minority. A lot of people were from other places, and their children from other places. Well, now that's a little bit less the case. But nevertheless, you never know what you find unless you look.
And so it sounds like not only did people migrate, but records migrated.
Exactly. Yeah. And it comes down to geography.
Well, and that brings me to your book. It's called Walking with Ancestors. And I know you were talking about geography and maps and the way that they play a part in our research. How did that come together in this book, and what would we be learning here that we're not really finding other places?
Well, it's interesting. I started working on that book back in 2003, and in fact, I had a hard time convincing the publisher that genealogists would be interested in maps. And I said, well, hey, wait a minute. All records are filed according to place.
Oh, that's so true.
You locate records by knowing the jurisdiction. And I read once, I think it was in Val Greenwood's book on American research. He said in his book that most of the problems involved with locating an ancestor come down to not understanding the jurisdiction and not appreciating boundary changes. And so I wrote this book because I was a little bit tired. I'm in two worlds. I'm in the academic geography world because I teach part-time here at Shasta College. But I'm also a professional genealogist. And I think what people don't understand is that genealogists need geography. And I heard academic geographers poo-pooing genealogists forever because genealogists would come into a map library, say at a local college or university, and ask questions like, show me all your maps of Germany. Well, not knowing that there would be probably 2,000 maps, maybe, covering all jurisdictions of Germany.
And it depended what the time frame was, right?
Exactly. And so I wrote this book with, trying to raise the bar and educate the public as to the value of geography. And I love the genealogists that I teach. I hate to say this, a little bit more than my geography students. I hope they're not listening. because they're so attentive. They get it. And what's so heartening that even here at Family Expos, there are 4 presentations related to geography and maps here this weekend. And 10 years ago, that wouldn't have been.
Right.
There'd be 1, maybe.
Fascinating stuff. Melinda, this is wonderful. Again, the book is called Walking with Your Ancestors. It's by Family Tree Magazine Publishing. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And wonderful to finally get a chance to meet you here. I think that there's going to be a long need for maps and geography. It's become an integral part of our research and something we just don't want to miss out on anymore. Right. Thanks so much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
Great.